Ledger Digital files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Yeah, this is the third major crypto company to file for bankruptcy.
I literally just got wiped out.
According to Forbes, it was reported that there are nearly 600 cryptocurrency exchanges worldwide. Both the recent fall in bankruptcies of certain exchanges like Celsius and Voyager, which made an executive order to disable withdrawals. The question now is, what exchanges can we trust and who is the best now within this industry? So in this video, I'll be going over my top 6 crypto trading apps and go over the pros as well as the cons of each of them to give you a better idea on which crypto exchange you can trust to use over the long-term run so you don't have to worry about your money getting locked up. Now, to make this video a little bit easier, I'll also be giving each exchange my very own Jung score to rate them based on security, user interface, fees, and available coins that you have access to invest with. So Crypto.com was founded in 2016 in Hong Kong and is currently headquartered in Singapore. This exchange here has a ton of features, making the app suitable for both beginners and some advanced level traders as well. Crypto.com has a pretty good selection. They have 180 coins to choose from, and they're also in sponsorships and partnerships with a lot of the greatest companies out there, including the World Cup, the UFC, Formula One, PSG soccer team, the Philly NBA team, and even the LA Kings. For those who are looking for one single platform that offers it all, including staking, trading, farming, loans, interest accounts, they have it all set. In terms of the pros and the advantages, they work with local banks in the US to provide $250,000 in FDIC insurance on that USD balance. They also have a DeFi wallet where you have full control over your private keys. And on top of that, Crypto.com has its own native coin called Chronos, or Crow, that is also stakeable for about 6%. They did recently reduce it for the year 2022, but you're still able to earn a bit of yield if you choose to go for their coin. Now, the reason why people do decide to stake their crypto with them and buy into the CRO token is not just because that token was having a pretty strong movement during the previous bull run, but it's also because you get access to a metal crypto-linked Visa debit card. Now, I'll make a fully dedicated video just reviewing some of the cards because they made a whole bunch of updates to it, and in their most recent update, which happened a few months back, a lot of users were pissed. They were not happy, and that is because they went ahead and reduced a lot of the yield earning benefits and some of the cash back that you can earn. Now, I will say, regardless, even though they have reduced it, many people still find value in using their Visa debit card just because it offers a lot of unique benefits, such as having a free Amazon Prime membership, free Netflix or Spotify, and you also get a variety of different partnerships or even some air lounge accesses as well. Now, although all of this does sound good, the reason why they're number 6 on my list is because some of the cons that I'm going to mention. Even with Crypto.com having their own token, some people actually see that as a negative just because it ties in with a crypto coin where if it goes down in value, could this exchange also collapse too? There's a question on whether or not they would ever come out with an exchange that is available to use on desktop or websites, because Crypto.com is still only mobile version and you cannot use this on your computer even to this moment. On top of that, a lot of people these days are looking for the crypto exchange that offers trading for the least amount of fees. Crypto.com still has some pretty high fees compared to the other ones that we're going to talk about in this video, and users with a significant holding of Crow do get discounts on their trading. But keep in mind, if you do buy Crow and the market value of that goes down, it may not ever equate to a solid amount of ROI back on your investment. On top of that, Crypto.com has also had some questionable customer support. In order to have access to someone, you're not going to be talking to someone on the phone. Instead, you chat with someone and you oftentimes need to wait for them to respond back to you. Getting in contact with someone on their team might be a little bit more hard. On top of that, Crypto.com has gone crazy with their marketing, and some people are questioning the longevity of this exchange just because it seems like they liquidated a lot of their funds over the past year. Regardless, for me, I have been using Crypto.com as long as I've been invested into crypto. They were actually the first crypto exchange that I started with, just because back when I was looking on the App Store, when I was in community college, they're the ones that popped up. Yeah, my app has been slow sometimes. Yeah, I wish I could use it on my computer. They had access to a lot of different altcoins. I was able to make a lot of money still using their app, and I was still able to find a ton of benefits with this exchange. Now, in terms of my Jung score, in terms of security, I would give Crypto.com about a 3.5 out of 5. One of the features that I really like about them is their anti-phishing code. code. And they also, some people might not like this, but I actually do like this. If you are trying to withdraw your funds, you do need to whitelist your account. You got to do a KYC. You got to make sure that it is you. In terms of the user interface, I would give this about a 4 out of 5. The reason for this is it is easy to use. They have a lot of buttons, but in terms of navigating it on your phone, it's pretty straightforward. Now the fees, I would give them a 3 out of 5 just because Crypto.com isn't known to have the lowest fees within the market, but this is just to be expected. And I still think a lot of the benefits of this app outweigh even that con. Now, in terms of the available coins, I would give them a 4 out of 5 on the junk score. And that's just because they still have a solid variety. You're not completely limited, and you do have an option of touching into some of the other altcoins that you may not be able to on different platforms and exchanges. Now for the 5th crypto exchange on this list, this is going to be Gemini. So Gemini was founded in New York back in 2014 by the Winklevoss brothers. If you don't know who these guys are, if you ever watched the movie The Social Network, 2 of the actors in there were portraying these twin brothers due to the entire startup of Facebook. Gemini offers about 80 different coins that you can choose to buy, trade, and sell on their platform. I believe Gemini is perfect for anyone who values security at its highest level, and it also provides a good experience for both novice and experienced traders as well. If you're looking to earn some yield, they also have an interest earning APY on their stablecoin, which is the Gemini US dollar. Now I know through this past year, we've had certain stablecoins completely losing their peg, losing their value, cough, cough, Terra Luna. But I will say Gemini dollar is something that I've always been very confident in. Stated on their website, GUSD is audited on a monthly basis by BPM, a private and independent accounting firm that ensures there's a parity between the amount of USD in reserve and the amount of GUSD in circulation. Now, while Gemini stablecoin sounds good, how is the security and the credentials of this entire exchange in general? Well, I will say it looks pretty good. Gemini is one of the few crypto exchanges that has been completely regulated by the US, and they're licensed and available in all 50 US states. Gemini recently became the first SOC 2 certified crypto exchange in the industry, and the SOC 2 examination is given by third-party auditors, and it assesses a product or company's level of security and compliance. This exchange here also offers FDIC insurance for US dollar deposits up to $250,000 and digital asset insurance for funds held in its hot wallet. Now, just a quick rundown of the pros and the cons. Let's start with the pros. Arguably, this is still the most secure crypto exchange in my opinion. They have a track record of never getting hacked, and they've just been well known within the space to be pretty consistent with their customers. On top of that, Gemini also has a unique product. They have a Gemini credit card where you can also earn rewards in crypto and pay for everyday purchases with crypto as well. Now, they did offer an APY yield of 8.05% in interest during the bull market. This is always subject to change, but they still have been offering a pretty competitive amount, and just knowing that GUSD is still pretty secure, I think within a bear market, if you are trying to earn a little bit of yield or fight that inflation, they give you a good option to do that as well. Now, Gemini also has something interesting. They have something called hot wallet insurance, where if a user funds stored in the Gemini hot wallet are ever gone or, hacked in the event of any type of security breach, they would go ahead and cover that as well. Now, all that is pretty good. I think they make up a lot of good characteristics, but I will say some of the cons that brought them a little bit lower on this list is just the fact that they are a smaller exchange. They have smaller lists of coins to offer, and they don't offer all the ones that you may want to buy. On top of that, Gemini has also been known to have a bit more higher trading fees, especially if you're into trading small amounts of crypto. Gemini is still more mainly used within the US. They're not a global exchange, and compared to some of the other much larger cryptocurrency platforms, I do think they have a disadvantage of being small, but that can also be advantageous too. Now, in terms of the junk score with security, I would give them about a 4.5 out of 5. With their user interface, I would give them about a 4 out of 5 too. It's pretty solid. I've never had any issues using them. On top of their fees, I would give them a 3 out of 5, still up there. And in terms of available coins, I would give them about a 2 out of 5 on the scale. So if you're like me and you have crypto in a bunch of different exchanges, you know it can be a headache. Now guys, let me say, I've personally been using CoinStats before I even reached out to them with regards to this partnership. I decided to use CoinStats personally for me just because I was going through the reviews at the time, and they had much better reviews and they were easy to use, and I've been using them ever since. CoinStats is the #1 portfolio manager on the market with over 1.2 million active users. So compared to all the other portfolio managers on the market, CoinStats supports the most most wallets and exchanges. They support over 300. Because I have my portfolio split across a wide variety of places, using CoinStats has made my life so much easier. Now let me walk you through exactly how easy it is to manage your portfolio in CoinStats. First, click to connect a wallet and select MetaMask. Then connect your wallet, wait for it to add, and just like that, you can see your MetaMask in your portfolio. CoinStats allows you to chart the best swap rates so you can pay the lowest fees on trades and swaps. So if you are ready to make your investing easier, be sure to use the link down below in the description to get 41% off with CoinStats down below. KuCoin was first launched in 2017 and they are headquartered in Seychelles. Since its founding, it's grown to be one of the largest global exchanges by trade volume as both a web and mobile app version. So who is KuCoin best meant for? Well, if you are an international user, KuCoin may be better for you. Or if you are more of an experienced trader where you want to invest into a variety of different altcoins, KuCoin usually has the altcoin that you're unable to find on different exchanges. This means if you're trying to play around with some of the micro caps or small caps, going for a lot of high risk, high reward opportunities, this would be the exchange for you. In terms of their credentials and their credibility, they have over 10 million users in more than 200 different countries. Now, over the past few weeks, we even did get some word that KuCoin might be insolvent, that they had a lot more altcoins that they could have prepared for and missed this bear market, but it looks like even a lot of those rumors was false. Back in May, KuCoin did complete a $150 million fundraising round with a $10 billion valuation during the summer. After the collapse of Terra Luna, many investors were scared and they knew that KuCoin, which has a lot of these smaller altcoins, might be at risk too. It seems like a lot of that FUD was shut down and they've been operating well ever since. Now, if you are still a little bit more hesitant just on this platform, know that KuCoin did receive a 10 out of 10 rating on CoinGecko for their trust score in terms of their cybersecurity, their team, their incident, their scale, their liquidity, and just being a more stable platform. Now, quick rundown of the pros. With KuCoin, you can find your ability to earn interest on crypto as staking pretty widespread. They have a ton of different promotions and products, and they oftentimes comes with a little notification or deal where you can earn like crazy APY on certain coins too. Now, that was favorable during the bull market. In a bear market, it's a bit more risky because you don't want your money locked up. But I will say, if you are looking to expand your offering and you know a certain project is going to go to the moon and it's not readily available and you want to earn interest, oftentimes KuCoin has that available for you. KuCoin also has access to over 600 different altcoins, and on top of that, they have pretty considerable lower fees compared to most major exchanges, where it's between 0.0125% and 0.10% per trade. I do like the security benefits they offer on the front end, where you can create a separate password for trading apart from the login password that adds that additional layer too. Now, amidst those pros, I do need to mention there are still some cons, like there are with anything, where KuCoin is not officially licensed in the US. So if you are trying to access them and you live in the States, you would need to use something like a VPN, or you would need to live outside the US in order to have access to this exchange. This does pose a risk where if US regulators decided to crack down on KuCoin, you might not be able to withdraw your assets. On top of that, KuCoin is not known to have the best customer service in the world. Now, although their security is solid, they still were hacked in 2020 for over $280 million in assets. If there's an altcoin that you really want to buy, you can't find it anywhere else, then this is what you would use. If I were to give this my Jung score in terms of security, I would give them a 4 out of 5. For the user interface, I would give them about a 2.5, maybe like a 2.7 out of 5 on the Jung score, just because their fonts, their colors is not the most attractive. It's not the most user-friendly app, but it gets the job done. In terms of their fees, it's not terrible, but it's not great. We're gonna give them a 4 out of 5. Now, where they do get a 5 out of 5 though is the available coins. You can buy pretty much any coin with KuCoin, and it's much better than either trading on a decentralized exchange or using a completely unknown exchange that you never heard about, like one of the sketchy ones. I've had to do that before, and then I would always look at KuCoin first to see if they offered it if I was trying to buy a project that no one heard about. So the global Binance platform was launched back in 2017 by the financial software developer that a lot of people know within the space, known as Changpeng Zhao, let's just say CZ. So in 2019, the company went ahead and shut down access to US users, citing regulatory concerns that was coming out with more regulations. Shortly after that, Binance announced their US partnership with BAM Trading Services, which launched the Binance.US chain. If you were ever confused by the two, Binance.com is technically a separate company compared to Binance.US, and they are two different services. Now, Binance.US doesn't offer the most amount of coins. They offer only 60 compared to even what KuCoin had offered. But the reason why I place them a bit more higher on this list is just because of security. So who is this platform best served for? Well, I believe that Binance.US can appeal to both beginner and advanced level traders. Within Binance's platform, they do have some advanced level features that may be better suited for those experienced traders, but there are still plenty of available educational resources that allow newer newbies to get into the market too. On top of that, if you aren't really into trading futures or you don't have the risk profile for using margin, Binance.US could be a great option if you value low trading fees over user friendliness. Now, going into the pros of Binance.US, so one of the most appealing features of Binance.US is its low trading fees. While competitors have trading fees starting at 0.5%, maker-taker fees on Binance.US range from anywhere to literally 0% to 0.01%, and instant buy fees are anywhere from around 0.5%. They also give a benefit where if users are holding BNC or the Binance token, they also get a 0.25% discount trading fee. We talked about this earlier, but Binance.US offers a pretty solid educational resource system, and they call this the Binance Academy, with videos and articles available for traders at all levels to get better acclimated to the market. Now, I will say Binance.US does have a bit more cons too. Now, while the Binance's global platform offers hundreds of available cryptocurrencies and is still one of the top crypto exchanges in terms of liquidity, volume, security, and just, being reputable within the space, Binance.US offers only just 60 cryptocurrencies, and it's still not available to users in Hawaii, Idaho, New York, Texas, and Vermont. Now, in terms of my Jung score, in terms of security, I think Binance is actually one of the top just because they are still associated with their parent company. I would give them a 4.5 out of 5. In terms of user interface, I would give them a 3.5 out of 5. And in terms of fees, I would give them a 4 out of 5. And in terms of the available coins, man, they don't have a good listing. So I would give that even a 2.5 out of 5 on the Jung score. I think Binance.US is great for anyone who has available access to it. I do also know that Binance.US recently raised a strong round. So they're getting the funding. They're going to start up their marketing. They are going to get more users in there and hopefully bring out some even better features to their app. And this is just going to be overall one of those consistent exchanges that still have a good reputation within the space. So Coinbase is a well-known crypto exchange. I'm sure most of you guys heard about it. They crushed it in the first bull market run that we had. And even right now, they've been very, very consistent too. So Coinbase was founded back in 2012 just as a place to send and receive Bitcoin. And they have since then grown to support over 100 altcoins in their platform and have more than 2,000 employees worldwide. Now, if we're talking about the best beginner exchange or something that someone is trying to get into, I would say Coinbase is top dog on this just because they allow it to be so easy. They have good relationships with a lot of the banks. If you have someone like a loved one or a family member, or you're trying to get like your significant other into crypto, chances are Coinbase is probably what you would recommend to them just because it is so simple to use. Now, Coinbase has grown to be one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world with over 73 million users, which is insane. And they have $255 billion in assets on the platform. Coinbase is fully regulated and licensed in most US states, Canada, UK, and even Europe. They have good relationships with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, also known as FinCEN, which prevents and punishes money laundering and related financial crimes. Back in 2021 of April, they were also listed on the NASDAQ Public Stock Exchange, where currently it was trading just below the $200 price. To give you guys the pros, I pretty much just said it, but they do have some of the best user interface and experience for new beginners to get started. Now, before they also had Coinbase Pro, where you could use this without having to pay a lot of those expensive fees, which is one of the downsides. But recently, they're trying to put everything into one umbrella category. They're trying to make it less confusing for others, and they're still trying to offer people the advanced level trading and charting features with lower fees. I think it's good to see Coinbase navigating these markets. I will say though, I think they went a little crazy with their marketing. They did get a lot of users coming in. They did a good job, but right now we've been getting more reports that they're laying off a lot more of their staff. Some of the downsides I would say, which maybe doesn't necessarily affect us directly, but it's worth knowing, a lot of their employees, when they got fired from the company in pretty aggressive ways. It was reported that a lot of them would just log in, no word that they were fired, and they just got locked out of their email account and realized, okay, they're out and they're not going to get paid anymore. I do understand within a recession and a bear market, a company's got to do what a company's got to do to survive, but it's never a good story to hear from a company just laying off their employees the way that Coinbase was reported to do. Now, if you can ignore that, Coinbase does still have a lot of advantages. They have a high level liquidity, they have high security since they are a publicly traded company. One of my favorite features as well is being able to use a two-factor authentication key. Most exchanges allow you to do this, but Coinbase was one of the first where you can get something called like a YubiKey, where if you want to use your exchange, you want to log in, instead of possibly getting SIM swapped, using your phone and two-factor authentication, you use a physical key in order to sign in. Now, in terms of my junk score, security, I would give them a 4.5 out of 5. In terms of user interface, I'll give them a 5 out of 5 right there. For fees, not the best, not the worst, but you know, I have been wrecked personally by the Coinbase fees back when I was a newbie and a beginner within the space. So I'm gonna knock them an extra junk score for that and give them a 2 out of 5 on those fees. On top of that, the available coins, it's not the best. You know, they have a little bit more wide variety than some of the other ones we talked about, but not crazy good. For that, I would give them about a 3.5 out of 5 on the junk score. All right, so FTX, I believe, was the fastest growing cryptocurrency exchange that popped up during this bear market and for the year of 2022. Now, this exchange offers a lot more tools. They even offer margin and futures trading, which I don't often recommend many new beginners to get started with. I will say for me, FTX is my current primary exchange. This video is not sponsored by them. They're not paying me any additional money to say this. From my research and using all of the ones that I've mentioned in this video, I have accounts with all of them. I've been using them all for a while. I just decided to use FTX because of what they are doing. Their security is great, and they're still becoming one of the top exchanges to this day. Taking a look at the numbers, according to data provided by Kaiko Research, FTX's market share of Bitcoin volume went from 4% in 2021 to now over 24% in just 2022. Since then, FTX has officially surpassed Coinbase in Bitcoin volume traded as of May this year, and it was founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, who has been known to be a really good philanthropist, someone who's been contributing a lot into the crypto space, and just an overall good person from what I've heard within this space. In terms of the security, the credibility, the credentials, FTX offers industry standard security features. It is a top centralized crypto exchange, and it was valued at over $18 billion with huge partnerships. They had a Super Bowl ad. They also had the Steph Curry partnership, and FTX is really just in a lot of different places all over the United States. So over the last few years, FTX has been known to have some great acquisitions within the space. One of them was acquiring Blockfolio. They then transitioned that into their native app. They also acquired LedgerX, Liquid Global, Bitvo Exchange, and there was also some rumors that they were looking into picking up even Robinhood or Public.com or Webull, which are some of the more larger stock trading platforms to exist. What this shows is that FTX is known for a lot of market liquidity, and they also have a ton of different offerings, including NFT exchange marketplaces, and they also just have a lot of community involvement. If you use FTX, they even had a time where you had access to go watch the Formula One racing happening in Miami as well. On top of that, the latest rumor was a deal where they might possibly acquire BlockFi to add to their portfolio, and I do think FTX is just going to be one of those superpower exchanges where you don't have to worry about security. They've shown this past year you don't need to be in a bull market to dominate the exchange space, and they've just been consistent and good with their customers and just leading the way. Now, in terms of Sakans, I personally had some issues with depositing my money. I had trouble trying to link my ACH, so I had to wire my money. When I did the wire though, I will say that was the smoothest way for me to deposit liquidity into their app, so there was a way around there. I will also say that they have been known to have a lack of customer service with no live chat option either, but it is worth noting that many of the crypto exchanges exchanges right now aren't really optimized for the best customer service. I think this is something that'll come as time goes on, but that was also an area of concern from other users too.